Good evening, everyone. My name is Jen, and I am the founder of Always and Forever, and this is our daily Operation Be Brave check-in. I apologize. I did not get a chance to jump on yesterday, but if you are following our page, or if you're new to us and just started following our page, I thought I would share a little bit about I'm just gonna be honest, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I'm gonna call him Michael, but it kind of sounds like macaw. I don't know. Sometimes when we name our pets, especially when they come from a very traumatic circumstance, we look for a name that holds some type of meaning to it. And I believe this is a Hebrew meaning that says gift from God. So that's how we got his name. I'm gonna call him Michael. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's funny. I was in the car with a friend, and we were on our way back from dropping him off, and the whole morning is a blur, because the whole night was a blur, because all day yesterday was, what choice do we make? Do we hold on to hope and throw everything we can and do everything possible to save him? Or are we enduring his suffering, and do we compassionately let him go? So what I tried to write, everything that we went through, because this journey doesn't happen without everyone who jumps on here, who says a prayer, who shares a post, who sends a donation, who believes that every single soul is worth loving and every single soul has value. So I'm not even exaggerating, at least 6 hours yesterday, we were on med calls, constantly going over what his stats were, how he was, his vitals, what the view was, and what was in his best interest. And I think it's important to acknowledge that no matter what anybody decides in decisions like this, when they are driven and done with love, it's not like you're debating right and wrong. There's no right and wrong in this situation. What is clearly wrong is what happened to him. The abuse that he suffered, the neglect, and the suffering that he endured, that others looked past. This dog suffered, and not by our hands. And so what I shared in one post, and there are so many posts, I know, but so many things happen, and I just want to keep everybody in on this journey, because again, this journey doesn't happen without all of us. But what is so incredibly beautiful is when we have these debates of which is the right route to go. You have someone fighting for his right, not even his right, his chance to live, and others fighting for his chance to finally know peace. And what a beautiful fight. What a beautiful debate and argument, and horrible decision to make when everything you're doing is done based on love and based on his best interest. And so I will say it a million times, there's no right or wrong when you are making these decisions, especially when you're taking in a rescue that you did not cause the trauma of a past, or it was an accident, and God always knows your hearts. So when we finally did come to the decision to, after a board certified soft tissue surgeon agreed to take on the case, at that point, you literally transition all of your fear, or this is what I do. I transition all of my fear and all of that worry and pain into hope, into the belief that miracles only happen when there are no guarantees. When you jump off that cliff and you know somehow, some way, God's going to help you fly, or he's going to take you home. And that's truly what we ended up doing with Michael, and he is by no means out of the woods at all. It literally could be a phone call. Every single moment for the next 2 weeks, everything is critical. That's how severe his case is. Was it a miracle he survived the car ride? Absolutely. Guys, his numbers actually tanked. Not the 87,000, that stayed the same. I do my best to explain and understand medical, but I don't have a medical background. I have 6 years of diving into medical cases, but I question, I learn, and I constantly challenge myself to grow and to understand. And ultimately, he needed both a blood and a plasma transfusion just to be able to endure the surgery. So we actually brought that from VESH, Wichita, the emergency vet that took care of him the night before. And so they treated him with that. And in the surgery, there were moments of touch and go. And he lived. So miracle number 1, he made it in the car ride here. Miracle number 2, well, actually miracle number 1, we had the courage to try. I'm just going to go with that's a miracle, because it takes tremendous courage to try, and it takes tremendous faith to believe in miracles. So miracle number 1, miracle number 2, he survives the car ride. He ended up having a little extra fluid in his belly too. So we get the call, everything's already going against him even more. And we say, do we continue? We said yes. And miracle number 3, okay, no, miracle number 2, a surgeon agrees, a board certified soft tissue surgeon, the best we know, agrees to take on his case, Dr. Millard. So 6-hour drive, he comes here, and she takes him on. And what's interesting is, Julie, our phenomenal medical coordinator, asked her, I think after the fact or before, and we always like to ask the surgeons, our vets, what would you do if it was your dog? Would you do this? Would you go through this? And her response was, I want to win. I want to beat this, and that's who I want. That's who you want, fighting for the soul that you are desperately praying to save. And that's why you invest in the very best, and that's why you drive 6 hours in the middle of the night, and that's why you put all of your hope and your faith into something so big that only the right people, only the right surgeons, and only all of our prayers and God can do. So no matter what happens out of all of this, I can just literally define miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. The fact that people are jumping on this live right now and still praying for him. And the 2 seconds, I know he was in my car, but we just had music playing, and Beth had her hands on him. But the transition from the car to the stretcher, and it was so, you know how time just sometimes stops, and like everything around you just stops, and like the world pauses. And there was a moment where Julie, Beth, myself, and 2 vet techs, very loving vet techs that came out, so it's the 5 of us, when we transitioned him from my car to the stretcher. And I'm not even making this up, it was a split moment where every single one of our hands were on him, and it's like time stopped. And I just noticed that, because touch has energy, love has energy, and at that time he had 10 hands of love on him. And then I put my hands around his face, and it was like his eyes widened, and I swear to God, it was just one moment of hope, where it doesn't matter if he lived, it didn't matter whatever else happened, all of you gave that to him. You gave him 10 hands to hold him. You gave him a chance, and you believed that he was worth it. So, and you selfishly gave that to me. So, thank you. I will be that selfishly. So, selfishly, I say thank you on that. I think I got it right on that one. That moment That's gonna live inside me forever. Because he's special. Because they're all special. And we're not allowed in that shelter right now. For 8 months, for 6 months now, I have written to the city manager. I've written to the lieutenants, various lieutenants who are in charge, city council. I have begged for them to let us in. I have offered to pay for our staff to be in there to take photos, to vaccinate every single animal, to help walk dogs, to just do walk-bys, to do whatever we can to help. We have offered ourselves for free everything that Beauties and Beasts has done for the past 9 years. And nothing has changed. If one person had walked that shelter and seen him there and walked that shelter with love, he would not have suffered for 3 days. And I get these tears and I get the emotion because this is one soul that we know of. One soul where thousands of others are just a number. So I got to look at one soul that was overlooked, that was forgotten. And then when finally we had the chance to help him, every single one of us believed, even if we lost him, that he was worth trying. So where are we at with him? No news is good news now. No news is really good news. If we get a phone call, if you see a post before tomorrow, it will likely be that he's in heaven. And in all honesty, if that post comes, if that time comes, whenever it's time, whenever I say goodbye to one of my pets, I always look them in the eye and promise them and tell them, because I know that heaven is better and he will be in a better place if that's what God's will is. But the beautiful part of this is that the what if, the wondering, the did we do enough, that's all gone. Because we tried. So, I hope I don't post tonight. If I do, it'll probably be long and dramatic because it'll be filled with emotions, because everything is emotional right now. But I think when it stops hurting this much, when you get to the point where you're calloused and they become inventory, that's when you shouldn't be in rescue. That's where shelters become what they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be a place of protection, of love, of care, a place where lost and homeless animals go, and someone that has the means takes care of them. I have very sleep deprived and loves them. Not a temporary holding facility where they either move somewhere else or die, but a place filled with love. And I do want to say too, I have read every single comment. Every single comment. I can't comment on every single comment. I can't even acknowledge every single comment. But your words are beautiful. And your hearts are so beautiful. And thank you. I see the world. I see the world in a way I know it can be. And I see so many people let fear stop them from change. And it doesn't have to stop you, because we have moved mountains together. We have proven every single day that miracles are possible, and it's only impossible if we deem it that. This little red barn was just a falling down horse barn with one person who had no idea what she was doing, and honestly at that point little to no faith in anything. And all of you and all of these animals drug me out of darkness and made me believe that we can change the world. We change it every day, every damn day for the better. And I'm so humbled and honored to be a part of this journey with you. So I don't even know if I said anything tonight. But your faith and your prayers and all of your beautiful words inspire me. So thank you. And I truly do hope October 18th, no matter where you are in this world, you will drive to Wichita, you will fly to Wichita, you will stand side by side with Beauty's Beasts and Always and Forever, and you will say it's time for change. We did it in Osawatomie on a smaller scale. We can do it again. So, I think I'm late for a fundraising call. I don't know. I probably am. Oh, that's what I was going to share. My friend, while we were driving back, I just always get so amazed with time, because she said, it's like, well, her statement was, everything keeps going, but yet our whole world stops. And everything stopped the second Michael came into our care. But yet everything around Always and Forever and all of our work and all of our daily lives kept going. But for one moment in time, every person that's following us here, every person that prayed, every person that commented, we all came together in faith. And we said, somehow, some way, we believe that God's going to find a way. And Michael's still here. And I promise you, with all of our hearts, we won't let him suffer. But there's just a million different miracles. And I could not be more grateful. So I did want to jump on and say thank you. I don't know if I said anything of value on this live. But if the only thing you guys remember is thank you for not only inspiring me, but for believing in all of these animals and for believing in all of the people behind Always and Forever. You guys are changing the world. Have a good night.